There exists an archetype of athlete which has been of particular interest to me for quite some time. It's the type of player who doesn't necessarily spring to mind when someone asks you to list the greats of the sport, but one who, when you hear their name mentioned, makes you think to yourself, oh yeah, they were great. This type of player exists somewhere in that purgatory between the truly elite and the merely okay. You may hear them referred to as all-star caliber, or maybe even just really good. To me, they fall under a different category altogether. They are dudes.
I'm the dude, so that's what you call me, you know? That or his dudeness or duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Pioneered by David Roth of Defector Media, the Dude is a title that is at once nebulous, yet easily identifiable. You might think of it this way. If a player seems like a dude to you, then they are probably a dude. And while a better mind than mine might be able to quantify what exactly elevates a player to dude status, it mostly comes down to one's personal judgment. To paraphrase former Supreme Court Justice Potter Stewart, I know a dude when I see it. That being said, I must emphasize that while there are a wide variety of athletes who personify dudeliness, the one thing that connects them is the fact that they are a cut above what is known as the guy. The key thing to remember here is that while not all guys are dudes, all dudes are guys. As is the case with dudes, there isn't a specified boundary for what makes a guy a guy. But if you want examples of guys, I highly recommend Roth's Deadspin series, Let's Remember Some Guys. However, today we're not here to discuss guys. We're here to talk about dudes. So strap in, because in this inaugural episode of Baseball Dudes, we're going to be remembering the brief but dudely peak of the beard himself, Brian Wilson. Camelback Mountain in Phoenix, Arizona stands at an elevation of 2,706 feet. At noon, when Brian Wilson would begin his daily ascent, the sun has already reached its apex, bearing down on anyone daring enough to challenge its power with blistering heat. It takes Wilson approximately 40 minutes to scale and descend the peak, at which point he turns around and does it all again. Over the course of a single off-season, he would manage to run over 700 miles this way. To an outsider, the extremes to which the pitcher went to complete his physical conditioning seem crazy, but anyone familiar with the 6'1" hurler can tell you that when it comes to Brian Wilson, crazy is in no short supply. The sweltering heat of Phoenix stands in sharp contrast to the frigid winters of Londonderry, New Hampshire, where Brian grew up the son of Mike Wilson, a hardened Air Force veteran and demanding perfectionist. On weekends, Brian would be told to shovel for 7 hours. When there wasn't snow to be shoveled, his father would have him rake and bag the leaves, drag them to the woods, and bury them. Among the many lessons Brian Wilson would later recount, one stood out among all of them. If you start something, finish it. When Wilson joined the LSU baseball team, he didn't mince words when it came to his major league aspirations. Put me in classes that I can give no effort towards, Wilson told his counselors. I'm going to focus on baseball. And that's just what he did. Even after he injured his arm to the point of needing Tommy John surgery in his junior season, he decided to leave school and put himself up for the draft. It was a risky move, but it paid off when the Giants selected him in the 24th round. He made his MLB debut on April 23, 2006, replacing the struggling Tyler Walker. He pitched 2 innings, allowing 2 hits, no runs, and striking out 3. After the game, he revealed that he had hurt himself in the first inning, but played through it into the second. Nonetheless, he was placed on the disabled list for a month. On July 2nd, he earned his first career save against the San Diego Padres. It was a promising start for the young righty, but it would be nearly another 2 seasons before he really got a chance to shine in the bigs. In September of 2007, Wilson took over the closer role from Brad Hennessy and didn't look back. In 2008, he recorded 24 consecutive saves from May 3rd through August 17th. He was named the NL All-Star team, giving up no hits and striking out 1 over 2/3 innings. He finished the season with 41 saves, tied with Brad Lidge for second behind Jose Valverde's 44. He continued his effectiveness in 2009, converting 38 of 45 save opportunities for San Francisco. On June 5, 2009, he got to be part of baseball history, saving Randy Johnson's 300th career win. Despite this success, Wilson was still not satisfied. In a 2010 spring training interview, he was asked if he considered himself an elite closer. He replied, "An elite closer is a closer who's part of a World Series win. If you get that final out in the final win of the season, then you can consider yourself elite." Over his first 24 opportunities in 2010, he converted 22 saves. He was once again named to the All-Star game, tossing a scoreless eighth as part of a 3-1 victory over the American League. By October 3rd, he had accumulated 47 saves, just one shy of the Giants' single-season record held by Rod Beck. In the final game of the regular season, he entered with a 3-run lead against San Diego, tossing a scoreless inning to earn his major league leading 48th save and clinch the NL West for the Giants. Wilson was named the This Year in Baseball Closer of the Year and finished 13th in MVP voting. Wilson blew his first playoff save opportunity against the Braves in the NLDS, but rebounded to finish off games 3 and 4 as the Giants advanced to the championship series against Philadelphia. He earned the win in Game 4 with a scoreless inning and worked his way out of several tight spots in Game 6, clinching San Francisco's ticket to the World Series versus the Texas Rangers. He also joined Dennis Eckersley, Mitch Williams, and John Wetland as the only pitchers since 1969 to win or save 4 games in a postseason series. For as successful as Brian Wilson was on the mound, it was his personality that made him a real star. In the 2010 All-Star Game, he donned a pair of bright orange cleats, which he continued to wear throughout the season. When Marlins manager Edwin Rodriguez complained that the shoes were distracting, Wilson shot back, "The fact that he thinks these shoes throw 97 to 100 with cut might be a little far-fetched. I guess we should probably have these checked for performance-enhancing cleats." He is dotted with tattoos and sported a mohawk hairstyle, but his defining characteristic, as anyone who was watching baseball during this time could tell you, was his beard. I mean, look at this thing.
So I'm staring at the catcher. This is the intimidation face you're gonna see.
I don't see it.
Yeah, dude, I don't fear the beard. That's interesting.
It's just a beard.
Just a beard, guys, huh? Well, what about now?
I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna go check on him.
You're welcome.
He began growing it out during the summer of 2010, and as the Giants came closer and closer to the playoffs, the more it grew on Giants fans. By the time they reached the NLCS, you could look into the San Francisco crowd to find a sea of fans sporting beards, real and fake, and carrying signs demanding that you fear the beard. Teammates began growing out whiskers of their own, some successful, and some less so. And when Wilson secured the final out of the 2010 World Series, both he and his beard became part of Giants history. Following the championship win, Wilson became the face of the Giants, making appearances on shows from Jay Leno to George Lopez. He was recognized as far away as Thailand and was swamped by adoring fans at the Giants Fan Fest. When asked if he used black beard dye, he would insist that his beard's signature color was the result of, quote, a lot of day games. Wilson's 2011 season was beset by multiple DL stints, but he still managed to convert 36 save opportunities and was selected for his 3rd All-Star game. In April of 2012, Wilson felt a pain in his elbow during an appearance against the Rockies. He would undergo his 2nd career Tommy John surgery a week later, which ended both his season and, it would turn out, his time with the Giants. After deciding to wait until he was fully healthy to sign with a team, Wilson agreed to a contract with the Dodgers in July of 2013. During his first season with Los Angeles, he notched a 0.66 ERA over 18 appearances. That winter, he signed a 1-year, $10 million deal to return to LA, but a disappointed performance in 2014 led to the Dodgers designating him for assignment that December. He would not play in the majors again. These days, Brian Wilson is nearly unrecognizable from his time as the top closer in the game. The famous beard is long gone, and while he briefly considered a comeback as a knuckleballer in 2017, his MLB days are behind him. In 2018, he was inducted into the Giants Wall of Fame, along with former teammates Matt Cain and Ryan Vogelsong. Brian Wilson has been a lot of things: an all-star, a media darling, and a world champion. But in my opinion, there is one thing he is which stands out among the rest. Brian Wilson is, above all else, a dude.
Kind of puzzles. Anywhere from like crosswords, riddles, and mostly just puzzle pieces. Start off with a nice 500 piece and then go from there. Did the Taj Mahal, it was 2,000 pieces. Pretty excited about that.
How long did that take you?
That was a long one because the sky was all blue and you couldn't tell where the pieces went. It was trial and error. That took a good day and a half to do the sky. The actual Taj Mahal took probably a week.